All right, this is part two. You see what I'm saying here? Okay, yeah, okay, Peter. I think it would be cool if we have a scene where the Eagles talk to Tacitonius and Cassius. You can do that. The Eagles, like, whereas in the book, Tactius talks to the Eagles like one time. The Eagles fly by. He's in his room. Obviously, I don't suppose so for you. He's in the balcony, and the Eagles fly by, and Tactius is like, Eagles. And they're like, just keeping an eye on you. Good day. That's all they say. You know what I'm saying? And Tactius never talks to the Eagles after that. Whereas in the movie, I'm probably going to add some more scenes with the Eagles. With the Eagles talk to Tactius and Tacitonius. You can do that. Something cool like that, yeah. Okay, tell Peter Jackson that way he knows. Yeah, Peter, I think it's cool if we add a scene in the young Tactius scene. Let's have a scene where the Eagles talk to Tactius and Tacitonius. They tell them stories or something like that. You know, so but again, Tactius when Tactius is a kid, I'm gonna give you throw something out there. When Tactius is a kid, he has not been outside the walls, obviously, and he doesn't know about Eratat. He doesn't know about the Double Wolf King until later. I don't want to spoil the story for you. That's why you look an amazing story. Yeah, you can have the Eagles talk to Takis. I'm saying, yeah, there's not that much scenes with the crows. You can have more scenes with the crows, obviously, in the movie to make it more interesting. See what I'm saying here? So even though I'm going to follow the story, I'm going to be adding quite a bit of scenes. Probably a good 30% scenes, man. 25% of scenes I'm going to add, man. With Aratat, the crows, the Eagles, Takis the first. I'm going to add quite a lot of scenes in the prologue for Takis because my prologue's a bit rushed. In the movie, I'm probably going to add a lot of scenes with Takis the first. I don't pay Idris Elba $25 million for being in a few scenes. No, I'm gonna. Well, the prologue is long, obviously, but I want to have a good like 40. I'm gonna tell you guys, look, man, I want the prologue to be a good like 50 minutes long, a nice 50-minute prologue. I'm gonna write a good. I don't know. I'm gonna write a good like 30 pages for the prologue around there for my book. 30, 40 pages for the prologue. 30 pages is good. Okay, Peter, let's write a good 30. Let's dedicate a good 30. Let's write a good 30 pages for the prologue, and let's add a good more scenes to make it more dramatic with Takis the first. You know what I'm saying? For the prologue, this is gonna be top notch. Okay, Ivan. You know what I'm saying? That's why I want to plan everything out with VJ during the 8 months. I'm gonna plan everything out with VJ. Okay, VJ, I want the prologue to be a good 50 minutes long. I want to add some more scenes. Okay, Ivan. And me and VJ, we discuss what ideas we have for the Tactics the first prologue. Then we discuss young Tactics, what we want to add for what we don't want in the movie. But here's the thing, though. Most of the scenes and dialogue that's in my book will translate well on screen. And that's why Peter Jackson told me, yeah, Ivan, most of the stuff in your book will translate well on screen. Yes, most of my scenes will translate well on screen. Hence why I'm gonna follow most like 75% of my book dialogue and scenes, obviously. But there's a high. I'm gonna add probably a good 25% of details and scenes to make it more dramatic, to make it more interesting. You see what I'm saying here? Yeah. You're looking at an amazing movie, man. You have the Eagles who are the Watchers of the North, the outside Watchers. Why are they the Watchers? You have Eratat's crows, obviously. They're the Watchers of the North, and then Merrimis's archers are the inside Watchers. So the Eagles are the outside Watchers. They're the Watchers of the North, obviously, and Eratat Merrimis's men who watch along the walls are the inside Watchers. So you have the Eagles who are the outside Watchers, the Watchers of the North, and you have Merrimis's archers who are the inside Watchers. Why are they men along the wall? I don't want to spoil the story, but you have Eratat's crows, and you also have they have to keep an eye on the wall for the wolves, obviously, the wolves, all that stuff. The main reason why they're watching is Eratat's crows, because Eratat's crows can fly over the wall, obviously, and you need watchers. You need watchers. This goes back to Anne and Labia. I don't want to spoil the story for you. You'll find out that when you read the book. I don't want to spoil the story for you. You know what I'm saying? That's really like an amazing story. Yeah. You have the Blood Valley. I don't want the Blood Valley to be some. I'm gonna tell you, look, I don't want the Blood Valley to be an actual bridge. Yeah, I get it. I want it to be an actual valley, and it takes hours to cross that valley, man. And that valley is cursed. You have the wild ravens. Well, ravens are pretty much crows. You have the wild ravens, the wild crows, different species, right? Wild ravens, wild crows, obviously. That can kill what? It can kill humans. You'll see what I mean with that when you read the book, obviously, right? Yeah, man. There's a scene in the book in Volume One where Cassius and them and Cassitonis and the 50 men, they what? they're in the valley, obviously, right? And when they're in the valley, they see crows. They're like, wow, there are crows in the south. You know what I'm saying? Because the wild crows, obviously. And then when the valley is so cursed and evil that when they go to get their mind out of things, the what the Zanian the Cassius Hastonians and the 50 Zanian men, they sing this hymn. They sing this hymn when they cross through the valley. Obviously, it looks really amazing in the story. Obviously, they sing this hymn while they cross, and once they pass the valley, hours later when they pass the valley, they're what? They're now the atmosphere changes. They're now in the south, and Cassius is like, "Welcome, gentlemen, to the south," and they're all shocked. Yeah, all Tacitonius is well. A lot of those men have been. Tacitonius is shocked because he's never been to the south. You know what I'm saying? He's like, "Welcome, gentlemen, to the south." And later on, in volume one, Cassius says like, "Yeah, this is Aratat's territory. Beyond these in the south, we are the prey. We are the prey. They are the predators because they feast on human flesh." Look at that amazing movie. Yeah, obviously. That's why Peter Jackson like, yeah, I mean, I can picture your story on the screen. You're looking at a masterpiece. Yeah, you wrote a masterpiece, man. And the moment you pass that cursed valley, where you have the wild crows, the wild ravens, dead corpses, rotting corpses, dead skeletons of humans, bastards. The wars over the generations, obviously. Once you pass that valley, the atmosphere changes. So I'll do a thing in the movie, okay? Like I'll tell people, look, man. Once they pass that valley, you have this atmosphere that changes. You get like a change in the atmosphere. You have the gray sky. You know what I'm saying? You have the cursed atmosphere, obviously, and you're now in. And the moment you cross that valley, you're now in Aratat's territory, and Aratat is the king of of the south. Yeah, man, look at an amazing story, obviously, right? And if you journey further east, obviously, you end up going through Galathia, obviously, and you know what I'm saying. And once you pass Galathia, you go through the Valley of the Dark, where you feel the evil of the darkness. Imagine applying on the base screen, you feel the evil of the darkness. And once you pass that valley, you're now in Barak, and that's where Aratat and all the demon wolves live. That's really like an amazing story, yeah, man. Oh God, when you're a creative genius, I am a creative genius. If you journey further to the west, obviously you're not you're there's Cyrus. You journey further southwest, you're in Saphius. And if you journey further west, more west, you journey through the western Gilead Mountains, and that is now Ephesus territory. And he is the king devil bat of the mountains, the cursed western mountains. And when you go through that mountains, you have the big mosquitoes the size of your hand biting that will bite you, obviously. And you also have the what? When you journey further through the cave, you also have the jaguars that can kill you. Cursed jaguars, big jaguars. Imagine big black jaguars attacking them, and Takis have to what? Fight them off. Look at an amazing story. And once you journey through the ancient Gilead cities, you have the pillars, you have the cobwebs. All you know how in Moria you have the webs, all stuff. Yeah, you have all that, and you know what I'm saying. You have many rooms, and there's 3 rooms that stand out, and then Theseus sleeps in one of those rooms. Yeah, you look something crazy. Papyri goes to the room on the left. You have there's a hewn stone table, skeletons on the ground. Obviously, that's where the bats feast on their food. Obviously, a huge stone table that can seat hundreds of people. And then Cassius goes into the other room, and after the bats are all sleeping, and he's like super scary with his torch. Look at an amazing story, yeah, man. Something 3 times scarier than what you got from Moria and Lord of the Rings, man. Looking at an amazing story. I wrote a masterpiece, man. I wrote a fucking masterpiece. Yeah, I wrote a masterpiece. Yes, I wrote. You'll see what I mean in my book, obviously. So even though Aratat is the king of the south, Ephesus is the king, but he's the king of the mountains in the south. So Aratat has a slightly higher power because it goes back to the answer. I almost spoke so for you. Aratat has a slightly higher power. He's the king of the whole region, the whole south, but the mountains is Ephesus territory. There's a scene in volume 3, where Aratat sits down. They camp in Saphius. Ivan, what are they doing in Saphius? I don't want to spoil stuff. All I'm going to say is you have the land markings. You know what I'm saying? There's a scene when Aratat talks about the history, obviously. He's like, my father told me about the history of the ancestors. And even though Aratat's the king of the south, he acknowledged, okay, you never go into the mountains. The mountains is Ephesus territory. You see what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, the bats in there are cursed and all this stuff. He's like, yeah. He's like, even though I am the king of this, I'm paraphrasing here. Even though I am the king of the south, if you go, don't go in the mountains, as the mountains is Ephesus territory. You see what I'm saying? In other words, the bats and The bats and wolves don't what? They're not the best of friends, obviously. But the bats and wolves hate the humans so much that what? The enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? That pretty much that's how it works, obviously, right? Yeah, right. Yeah, the bats and humans, they don't like you. They're not really friends, obviously. But they both species hate the humans, man. They hate the humans, and they hate Tactius the most because Tactius is special. He's a prince, obviously. I don't want to spoil the story for you. Why do they hate the humans? I don't want to spoil the story. All I'm gonna say is you have the ancestors. Hence why you're looking at an amazing story, obviously. I wrote. Aratat and the wolves hate the humans, obviously. So pretty much throughout the whole story, Aratat is bent on what? Destroying Tactius. That's his purpose, pretty much. Aratat's purpose is he's bent on destroying Tactius. You see what I'm saying? You know how you have Smith in the Matrix? Smith is bent on killing Neo, obviously. It's the same thing with Aratat. Aratat is bent on destroying Tactius. That's pretty much Aratat's what? Main purpose, the main plot. When you read the story, yeah, Aratat throughout the whole story is searching for Tactius. He wants him dead. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because he has a hatred for Tactius. The ancestors, they all hate Tactius. They have a huge hatred for him, yeah. Just like the ancestors of the North hate the what? They hate Aratat too. Tactius the first hates Aratat. He calls for Fool the Abomination. I don't want to spoil so far, but Tactius the first calls for Fool the Abomination. Whereas Tactius is the Blessed Hope, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Aratat, there's a lot of scenes in the book where Aratat calls Tactius that human prince, that human who I hate with immense passion. You see the wolves mocking Tactius. I want him dead. And I'm saying if only his axe was stuck to my head. You know, they look at something crazy. Yeah, they hate him so much, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Just like the ancestors of the North hate Aratat, obviously, and they hate Ephesus too, because the what? The kings, the two lines of kings in the south, obviously, their line is all cursed. The whole thing is cursed, obviously, except for the Southlands. Even though the atmosphere in the whole south is cursed, Aratat and all the wolves are all cursed, obviously. Even the children are cursed. Ephesus and all of them are cursed. The humans in the south, the Southlands, are not cursed, obviously, because they're humans. Ivan, what do you mean? I don't want to spoil stuff for you. All you say, it goes back to the ancestors. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It goes back to Osiris and Sapphius, and it goes back to the ancestors. So even though they're not Northerns, they're still humans, obviously. And the humans in the south are not cursed. You see what I'm saying? Remember that. Even though everything in the south is cursed, the sky, the constellations, you know what I'm saying, the atmosphere, Aratat, cursed, obviously. Ephesus cursed, the devil bats all cursed, the devil wolves all cursed. The only ones who are not cursed are the Southlands, the Syrians and Sapphians, who are the Southlands. So the Southlands are the Syrians and the Sapphians. So the humans in the south are known as Southlands or Syrians or Sapphians. You'll see what I mean. Like Tactius calls Papyri and all them Syrians. You know what I'm saying? And he also calls Job, Lithium, and all them Sapphians. They also call them Southlands too. There's Southlands and Sapphians and Syrians. Whereas the wolves out east, all the way in Barak, all out east in Barak, they're called the wolves of Rak. The wolves of Rak. You know how in Lord of the Rings they call them the orcs of Isengard or Orcai? Well, the wolves in Aratat and all of them are called the wolves. They're known as the wolves of Rak. The wolves of Rak, obviously. They're not the wolves are not known as Southlands. They're known as the wolves of Rak. Whereas the humans in the south, the Sapphians and Syrians, they're known as what? The Southlands, obviously. Southlands. Whereas the Zanians are known as Zanians, obviously, and they're also known as Northerns. You see what I'm saying? Like the Southerners call like Papyri, call Tactius, Tacitonians, and all them Northerns. They also call them Zanians. They're known as Zanians, but they're also known as Northerns because they're from the north. And the north is holy, obviously, whereas the south is cursed. And every Southern's dream is to live in Zanus, but the road to Zanus is dangerous. Chances are, if you take that path, you can get killed, obviously, by the wild ravens, the wild crows, and the Valley of Blood. You also have Aratat's spies who can kill you. You also have the wolves you might even spot a wolf and they can kill you too. The other path is through the western Crispus Mountains. You have to go through those big mosquitoes that can kill you. If there's a bunch of people, you can fight the mosquitoes off. Like the 5,000 Safians, they have their torches and they fight the mosquitoes off, obviously the big mosquitoes, obviously. But if you go there on your own, well, you'll die as you're looking at like hundreds of mosquitoes there, hundreds of big mosquitoes that can bite you and kill you. And to go through the west, the Gilead, the ancient Gilead City, you have the big jaguars that can kill you. You see what I'm saying here? Unless you're trained like the Northerns. Like Takis and all them can fight off the jaguars because they're trained. They're Northerns. They're fucking fighters. They're badass fighters. Well, if you can't defend yourself and to get to the what? To get to the Valley of Blood, you have to pass through the ancient Gilead City. But to do that, you have to go through what? Those rooms, and that's where all the bats sleep. And the bats hate humans and they kill humans. Think somewhere like more, except 3 times buried. Yeah, that's where like an amazing story. Oh my god, you wrote a masterpiece. Yes, I wrote a masterpiece. I know how to tell a good story, man. I'm a fucking genius. I know how to tell a good story, obviously. I told you for the scene when when the Safians exit Safius, obviously, and they journey through the cursed Western Gilead Mountains. Think something like Prince of Egypt. You know how they all had torches and all that stuff? Think something like that, like an Exodus, and everyone's like scared and all that stuff, and you have all these big mosquitoes biting at people. And that's why Peter Jackson is perfect for Zanus, because he directed King Kong too. And King Kong, you had all those big mutated insects. Remember how you had those big mutated insects? Well, think something like that for the cursed Western Gilead Mountains. I'm gonna tell Peter Jackson, hey Peter, I'm thinking for the cursed Western Gilead Mountains, I'm thinking something like King Kong. You have like mutated, huge mosquitoes the size of your hand, and they're biting the people. Yeah, I think that's cool. Yeah, and let's have all the civilians have torches. They have these torches, and they have to fight off the mosquitoes. That's gonna be top notch. I'm saying, yeah, I'm thinking of big mutated jaguars, evil cursed jaguars. I'm also gonna have John Howe and all of them draw for the mosquitoes. You know what I'm saying? I also want them drawing for the jaguars. You could do something like that. Yeah. That's why you're looking at an amazing movie. And because I'm pouring $390 million towards special effects, you're looking at something unheard of for even the mosquitoes and the jaguars, man. Something fucking freaky. Hey, John. Hey, John and Alan Lee. I want you drawing for the mosquitoes too. I'm gonna tell him, look, man. I'm thinking something like King Kong. Obviously, the mutated insects, obviously, except they're mosquitoes. Okay, draw mosquitoes the size of your hand. They're mosquitoes that are the size of your hand, and they're biting the people, man. They're biting all the Safians and Takis and all. You know what I'm saying? And after that, you have the Jaguars. That's something amazing, yeah. That's why Peter Jackson, yeah, man, you wrote a masterpiece. Yeah, I wrote a fucking masterpiece. Why? The reason why the mosquitoes and the Jaguars are you know what I'm saying? No, because the South is cursed, man. The South is cursed. The atmosphere is cursed. The sky is cursed. It's gray. The sun sets faster in the south. Even the animals are cursed. The insects bite the people the size of your hand. The jaguars can kill you. You know what I'm saying? You have the snakes in the forest of Galathea. You have Eretat, the wild crows, the wild ravens. You know what I'm saying? Deformed stags. The stags don't kill the humans, but they're deformed. Because it's all cursed, obviously. You have the Valley of the Dark where you feel the evil of the darkness. Yeah. That's why you're looking at an amazing story. Yeah. I already gave you guys an in-depth study of my book in my past videos last year. You guys know what I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? You guys know what I'm talking about. And that's why Peter Jackson is perfect. He is the perfect man for my Last of Us movie. And that's why I'm going to pay him a rich $83 million in Canadian, which is a good, like, I don't know, 108, 10 million in New Zealand dollars. I'm paying him a lot of money, obviously. I'm not paying him as much as Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, I heard he got like $180 million because he got a piece of the profits, obviously. But his salary, I'm paying him way more than what Warner Bros. Paid him for Lord of the Rings. He only got like $10 million for Lord of the Rings, and he didn't get spoiled the way I'm spoiling. Hence why he won't work. Hence why he's gonna work harder for me, obviously, because I'm paying him a fucking $100+ million salary in New Zealand money, obviously. 83 million in American in Canadian, one like 10 million in New Zealand dollar. I'm paying him what, a lot of money, obviously. Hence, he'll work hard for me. That's why I look at an amazing story. You know what I'm saying? That's why Peter Jackson be like, holy shit, Ivan, you're creative. Yes, I have like so many ideas for my book, man. For the cursed Western Gilead Mountains, I'm thinking something like Prince of Egypt. For the mosquitoes and jaguars, I'm thinking something like King Kong. You know how you had those mutated insects who are fucking huge? Well, think something after the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes are the size of your hand, and they're biting the people, man. Yeah, man. You look at an amazing movie, yeah. The humans are all scared. The Safians are all scared. Yeah, man, they're all scared. Obviously, there's a scene once the Safians see the North, they're in awe of the North. They dance because they're in holy terrain. When the Southerns first enter the North, I won't spoil the story for you. They're all in awe of the North. Oh, they're in awe of the North, and they all dance. They dance and they dance because they've never been to the North before. Yeah, because the journey to the North is dangerous, obviously. You see what I'm saying? And Aratat, Aratat, obviously did not mark the land until Taki's generation, obviously. So for hundreds of years, Aratat and the wolves never went to Barak or or they never went to Cyrus or Sapphius. It's not until Taki's generation that's when he's like, fuck it, he marked the land. Obviously, it goes back to Osiris and Sapphius. Immunity. I don't want to spoil it for you. It goes back to Osiris and Sapphius. The wolves did not touch the lands until Taki's generation, obviously. But the wolves still hate the humans. That's my point. As some Southerners obviously died over the years from the hands of wolves. Like if a Southern crossed the Valley of the Blood, or the wolf sees the Southern, they will kill the human, obviously. But they did not touch the lands until Taki's generation. You have to remember that. They did not touch. I don't really explain it that much in the book, but if you read it carefully, okay, Aratat did not touch. Yes, Aratat does not touch the lands until Takius is born. That's when he decides to touch the land. That's where we're looking at an amazing story. You know what I'm saying? Why is Takius? Because Taki's generation is a lucky generation. I don't want to spoil the story for you. Hence why you get some biblical symbolism, obviously. Hence why you're looking at an amazing story, obviously. You see what I'm saying here? Yeah, man, you're looking at an amazing story. Yeah. And throughout Takius' life, when Takius is a kid and when he's an adult, sometimes the visible face you get a visible face in the sky watching him, and it's smiling. You know what I'm saying? Because why is there a face watching him? I don't want to spoil the story for you. There's also a scene in the end of Volume 2 when Takius he gives a speech to the Safians. You get a demonic face staring at Takius in the south. A quick flash of a demonic face. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Ivan, what do you mean by that? I don't want to spoil the story for you. I don't want to kill the story for you, obviously. All I'm going to say is you have the cursed seven answers of the south. That's why you're looking at a masterpiece that I wrote, man. You'll see what I mean when you're like, oh my god, you wrote a masterpiece. Yes, man. I wrote a fucking masterpiece. Better than even Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, man. And that's why Peter Jackson would want to get his hands on my movie so bad. Yo, Ivan, I want to direct your movie so bad, you know what I'm saying? You're looking at a masterpiece. Yeah, I wrote a masterpiece, guys. A fucking masterpiece. Better than J.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. Yeah, man. Better than Game of Thrones. Better than Name of the Wind. Better than all those books, man. I'm not kidding around, guys. I know you guys think I'm crazy. Look, man, I gave you into some of my book. I'm talking about my book right now. You're looking at a masterpiece that I wrote, man. I wrote a fucking masterpiece. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I wrote a masterpiece, man. Yeah, that's why Mel Gibson's also good for what? For he's perfect for that movie too, because you have the demons in Passion Christ, the cursed atmosphere in the garden, that music with the devil. You have the vibe of Jesus, holy, innocent. You know what I'm saying, you also have a scene where Jesus is in trial. Some good ideas for the Takius scene in Volume 2 with Papyri and all of them. Obviously, remember. All I'm gonna say is that remember in Sapphius you have a rule where all imposters, thieves, or robbers are thrown in a dungeon. They go, and you have a scene with Papyri now. I won't spoil the story for you. And Eli, what? Every time a thief, robber, or an imposter is thrown in a dungeon, the bell sounds, and everyone Takius knows. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and you have a scene with Papyri. I don't want to spoil it with Papyri, Takius, and Eli. And serious, I won't spoil the story for you, obviously. That's the Takius Colonius chapter. Yeah, I don't want to spoil the story for you. And you'll find out how powerful Eli is in volume 2. With Takius or Colonius, you'll find out how powerful Eli is, obviously. Eli is very, very powerful. He's the leader of Sapphius, obviously. And he's filthy rich. Because Eli, the blacksmiths make weapons for the Zanes, and they get paid for it, obviously. The Zanes give them money, obviously, and they get paid. Eli collects all that money. I don't really explain it in the book, but like I can add a few details in the movie. So I don't really explain the whole tribute thing in the book. You know what I'm saying? But if you read it carefully, you'll figure it out. Yeah, the blacksmiths in Sapphius, Cornelius and 700 blacksmiths, they forge weapons